Okay, so have a tennis ball nearby. We might use it, we might not. Let's see how we get on. Okay, so sitting on your mat. So seem to be getting into a habit of always starting sitting, but I think it's because it's the best way to get everybody focused and working towards sitting straight. So hands on those legs, give those legs a good rub up and down. So as you roll down, roll forward onto your front bottom so that you're bending that pelvis to the leg joint. So we roll forwards, bend that pelvis to leg joint and sit back up a bit and then bend forwards. So as I go forward, I let my knees come up a bit and I'm just going to stay forward with those knees up. And I can hold on to my ankles, make sure those feet are pointing vertically, make sure they're kind of parallel, and then soften your knees a bit more and just pull forwards a bit further onto that front bottom. And then push that right knee down towards the floor and feel the stretch through that hamstring. Pull the toe to the nose and you get a stretch through the calf as well. Keeping that right knee down towards the floor, point that right foot. And then flex that right ankle and then point those toes away. So you change the stretch into the front of the shin when you point the toe. And then when you pull the toe to the nose, you should get it into the calf again. And then release the ankle, pushing that knee down, leaning forward a bit further so we feel it up in the hamstring again. And then release that knee and let it pop up a bit. And then focus on the left leg. So the foot's vertical. We push that knee down towards the floor. And then we point that left toe. So stretching that ankle. Feel the stretch down through the front of that shin area. And then pull the toes back up. And then feel the stretch through the calf. Then point the toe. Get a bit further. Feel the stretch through the front of the shin. And then pull the toe up. Feel it through the calf. And then release the foot, pull yourself a bit further forward, get the stretch back in that hamstring. And then pulling that knee down a little bit further. Then release those knees. Let them come up a bit and pull that body further down onto the thighs. So now you feel it in that lower back a bit more. Maybe you feel it stretching through those glutes. And then just gently rolling yourself back up to vertical. Roll those shoulders up to those ears, pull them round and back. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, pop the hands on the floor, lift that chest up high, breathing in. Breathing out, push the chest forward, bring the chin to the sky. And then bring that chin all the way down into the chest. Pushing those hands a bit further together behind you on the mat. And really pulling the head of that shoulder, the head of that arm, the head of the humerus backwards around the body. So I want to focus on where the shoulder is, or the shoulder, where the shoulder's positioned. So the top of the arm bone, we want to slide around the back of the body here. So we're really stretching through that chest, pulling those ribs away from the breastbone, pushing the breastbone forward, keeping that chin down. Turning the eyes to the right hand side of that right leg. So I'm turning my head on my neck, turning my face, and pulling that chin towards my chest, but lifting that left ear away from that left shoulder. Pushing those shoulders backwards and together, keeping that chest stretched. And then bring those eyes back to the front, and then taking those eyes around to the left. So the whole head turns left. Pushing that right ear away from that right shoulder, then pulling those shoulders together again, pushing the chest forward. So we're still pulling those upper arms around. Lifting that right ear from that shoulder. And then release those eyes back to the middle. Pull that chin one more time down towards the chest. Pulling those upper arms towards each other. And then bringing those eyes up to horizontal. Breathing in, taking the chin all the way up to the sky, gently as we bend the neck back. Gently let the head go back, pushing that chin up, lifting that chest up, pushing off those hands, pulling those upper arms down away from the ears. And then gently take those arms away from the floor, holding yourself in that nice tall position, bring those eyes to horizontal. So pushing those seat bones into the floor, lifting that head up high. Bringing those shoulders back, let those elbows hang under the shoulder joints. So just supporting your hands in front. Turning the palms up, bring those hands out to the side. And then let those hands swing around together. So lift that head up, hold that chest up. Take those hands all the way around to the side. So we're squeezing that chest, putting those shoulder blades together, squeezing between the shoulder blades as we pull those hands back, elbows stay in, pulling those hands back to the front. So rotator cuff, pulling those hands out wide, lifting that chest up high, feeling those shoulder blades touching or trying to touch in the back, separating the ribs away from the breastbone, bring those hands back. Take those hands around, so we're pulling the shoulder blades. Bring those hands back, focusing on keeping those shoulder blades there. Bring those arms up in front, trying to keep those shoulder blades there, hands to the sky. And then breathing in on the out breath, rolling all the way down to flat. All the way down to the floor. Bring those arms all the way over the head, all the way on the floor behind, pushing that right hand away from that right foot. Reach and stretch. Push that left hand away from the left foot, reach and stretch. And then push both hands away from both feet. And then pull those shoulders down away from the ears, sliding them on the floor. So I want you to try to visualize that your shoulder blades are flat to the ground, that you haven't got them sliding around the body. So let's bring those hands up to the sky. So let's just focus on that. So we're going to reach up to the sky with those hands, pushing that spine into the floor. And you can feel that the spine's on the ground and the shoulder blades have come around to the side of the body. Now we're going to pull the shoulders into the floor. So you'll feel that the inside edges push into the ground. And then we want to get them flat. So we're going to take the backs of the hands down to the floor out wide, pulling those shoulder blades towards each other behind the back. You might lift right and lift left to just give yourself some space, pulling them in. Now the spine's off the ground. Now in that in position, pull them down away from the ears. So this is where, when we're lifting heavy things, so Sandra lifting grandchildren up, making sure your shoulders stay there. So now bring the arms up to the sky, keeping those shoulder blades touching the floor like that. Now reach those hands up and feel the shoulder blades slide around the side of the body, pushing the spine into the floor. And notice how you've reached in front. So this would be an unstable way of holding a heavy weight in your hands if you were standing, because it's all at the extreme. We're hanging on the ligaments. Now we pull those shoulders into the ground, keeping the arms straight. And if we take the hands out wide, back to the hands to the floor, palms are up. Pulling those shoulder blades together, shimmy your body and give yourself some space. We then get those shoulders flat on the floor and we're stabilizing them because we're holding the shoulder blades against the ribs. Now bring those hands up to the sky, keeping those shoulder blades flat to the floor and against the ribs. Take those hands out wide, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Bring those hands up to the sky, keeping those shoulders in that place on the floor. Breathing in. So bring the chin into the chest now. Bring the chin into the chest, keeping those shoulders there. Push the lower back into the floor. So mum, if you're going to grab your rope, grab it. So we're going to roll up, but push that lower back in, but keep those shoulder blades back as you pull with that rope. Come up to sitting vertically. Bring those hands up in front. Shoulders are back. Now if we bend forward to reach our feet, we're going to end up, so we lean forward, shoulders stay there. Then if we reach, we stretch those shoulder blades, they come around the body. Our humerus, our upper arm, is reaching forward and stretching away from those ribs. So we're holding and we're in a stretch and in a pull. Now we're going to sit back up to vertical, hands are in front, pull those shoulder blades back together, breathing in, and on the out breath, lowering all the way down to the ground. All the way down, moving the dog out of the way. Bring those arms up to the sky, breathing in. On the out breath, let those arms come out wide. Pull those shoulder blades towards each other. Squeeze those shoulders away from the ears. So notice the little movements to free that neck. Keeping those shoulder blades together, Just rock that head from side to side and feel how free that neck is now that you're pulling your shoulder blades together. Now let those arms push away, push those arms up into the sky and reach, and then turn that head. You might feel it's as loose. I can feel tension down into my shoulders. If I now pull those shoulders into the floor, lift those ribs and the spine away from the floor, when I move my head, it's freer. I don't get the pull down into my shoulder. Take those arms out wide, back to the hands to the floor, palms up. Let that shoulder rock so the spine's moved from the floor. So my neck is now straight with my spine. So if I was to let my elbows bend, hands come up to the sky, and let the hands come around and feel under my neck here, you'll feel that the top of your ribs here is off the ground. So if you run your fingers down your neck, you'll feel that you actually continue down into your spine. If you now release your shoulders into the ground, you'll feel that bony bit at the top of the base of the neck sticks out. That's your spine. It's your spinal process in a curve. So if we now push those shoulders into the floor, lifting that chest, bring those shoulder blades together, take those arms out wide, we remove that bend and we get it straight. And then when we move our head from side to side, it's free. Bring those hands all the way up to the sky, palms pointing together, keeping the shoulders flat on the floor. So to sit up, instead of reaching with my hands, I push my lower back into the floor. That levers and lifts the head all the way up, and then I roll all the way up. So riding horses, Sarah, this is where we should have our thumbs up on the reins, our shoulders are back. So Pony Club, they used to put your crop between your elbows and make you sit ride like that. Riding a bicycle, if you've got your shoulders pulled back like this, if you hit bumps and potholes, you've got your shoulders stabilized. You're not going to bounce, which you would if your arms weren't stable. Okay, grab that roller in. So again, if we roll on the roller and we have those shoulders flat like that, then it's not so uncomfortable as we go up and down our body. So bring the roller into the bottom ribs, feet are flat, toes to the end of the mat. So breathing in. On the out breath, release, let yourself lift back. Push the breastbone up to the sky. Let that head come down to the floor. So having done that stuff with our shoulders, we probably won't feel so many cricks in our back. Bring that chin all the way back up and move the roller up a little bit more. Breathing in, breathing out. Release. So the roller should be below your shoulder blades still at the moment, just touching the bottom of them probably. Pushing the breastbone up, arching that belly, and then bring that head all the way back up. And then move the roller onto the shoulder blades. So I'm holding onto my head. If I pull my shoulder blades towards each other, breathe in, then they're flat on the roller. Breathe out, push that chest up to the sky, let the head come down. Stretching, arching my lower back, breathing in, and then on the out breath, bring myself back up. And move it one more time, breathing in, breathing out, pulling those shoulder blades towards each other, laying back, let that head rest on the back of the roller, or the back of the head on the roller rather, and just rock that head from side to side, just gently, it's quite bent here. Okay, take the head in the hands, lift the bum up, and I'll roll that roller down towards those bottom ribs. All the way down. And then all the way back up. And then all the way down. And then all the way back up. And then lean on that left side. Go all the way down. Down into those bottom ribs. And then all the way back up. And then over. Keep going over on the left. So if you want to stop and bounce yourself so that you take the weight off, you can. All the way down. So hang on, Mum, we're moving on the ribs still, up and down. Maybe turn so you face me. I've gone the wrong way, the back way, I'm afraid, so I've got my back to you. Okay, so then we go all the way down. So when we get to on our side, rest with us in that below the shoulder blade. So I've got my head head on my hand, and I'm just going to roll forward and backward. Just roll a bit forward and back, and I'm just going to bounce my bum and move down. So we're massaging the soft tissue to release the shoulder. So to release the shoulder, so we can lift that arm up, moving down, rocking forward and back. So if it's particularly sore, then it needs this work. Rolling forward and back, side to side, up and down a bit. Come into the armpit, and then go back down. And just bumping with that bum. Moving the roller, moving yourself, or you can lift yourself and then move the roller. So just stay when you get to that bra strap area and just give that a really good roll there. So that's the area that's going to be restricting that shoulder, restricting that arm from lifting, and making the shoulder blade not lay flat on the back. And then just rolling all the way up, all the way down, and we'll go back onto the back. If you want to just go, if you go straight onto your back, you kind of miss that the side of your back. So try to go around, and then end up off the roller all the way up, all the way down. And then we're going to go onto the right side. So again, trying to roll around if you can. And then over onto that side. Good, so all the way up, all the way down. And then working on the base of that shoulder blade. Wiggling up and down there. So kind of that, not quite on the side, but not quite on the back area needs a bit of a roll too. Okay. And then rolling all the way through that armpit. And then back to that shoulder blade. Rolling in and out there. And then all the way over again. And back onto the back. Letting that head come down. Good. And then rest that bum on the floor. And you can sit yourself up and move that roller out of the way. So we might keep the roller nearby. We might do some balance stuff on the roller. I think we did the foam roller, didn't we? That's what we did last week. Might do some of that again. Okay, so rubbing those legs, reaching forwards, lifting up. So we have used the ball to roll around the shoulder blade. So that is another way of getting a massage of those shoulders. So Sarah, that would be a good one for you. And actually putting two balls in a sock so that they don't spew off is a good idea, because then you can rub that up and down the spine. Okay, reaching forwards, reaching back, reaching those arms all the way forward, put those hands over the toes, put the toes into the wrist, fingertips into the arch of the foot, all those shoulders down, and then push those toes away, letting yourself stretch, loosening that head and neck, reaching, using those toes to push to stretch those arms, and then release. Let those hands slide back up the legs. Roll the shoulders up to the ears, round and back. Bring those arms up in front of you. Lift that chest up tall. Pull those shoulders back. So we're pulling the chest up and we pull those shoulders back, keeping the arms straight. And then we're going to lower down to the floor. So we have to lower from the bottom first. Otherwise we break the shoulders apart. Mum, chest up. Chest up, yeah. So lower at the bottom, keeping that chest up. All the way down to the ground. All the way down, slowly letting the tummy release. Bring those arms all the way up to the sky. Bring them all the way over the head. Push the right hand away from that right foot. Lengthen the right side of the body. Walk the right hand towards the left side of the mat. Walk the feet to the right. To the left. Take the left leg over the right leg. And then lengthen that right arm away from that right foot. And then release, walk those feet back to the right side of the mat, walk the hands to the right, take hold of that right wrist, push that left foot away from the left hand, breathing in, breathing out, keep those shoulders on the floor, keep those hips on the floor so you've got that stretch in that right plane. Okay, release, bring those hands all the way back to the center, feet to the center, bring those arms all the way up to the sky. Bring them all the way down to the side. Slide those fingers under the bum, roll those shoulders up to the ears, push those shoulders into the floor. So I've pushed off the back of my head, now I've lifted my chest up. So we're going to the next stage from what we were doing with the arms earlier and the shoulders. So we lifted that chest up. So we're heading towards the fish pose. Palms are up, fingertips tucked under my bum. Squeezing those shoulder blades together, putting the upper arm around under the body. Breathing in, fill those lungs up with air. Stretch those ribs apart from each other. Breathing out, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Push the back of the head into the floor. Lengthen through the head to the toes. And then release that back down to the ground. Bring that left knee in, bring that right knee in. Bring the knees up towards the chest, let the tailbone lift up off the floor, curling that lower back, and then release. Now push the tailbone into the ground and pull those knees towards the chest, so you're stretching that hip joint. So let the knees fall apart a little bit, so we can try to pull them up, so we're stretching that hip joint. So that's the roll forward we do as well. Putting those shoulder blades down, so push the back of the head in the floor, make sure those shoulder blades are flat on the ground, and then release the tailbone, let it lift up, pull those knees into the chest, let that back round, and then push the tailbone down and let that back arch, but pull those knees in so we flex those hip joints. Release the back. Let that right leg go to the floor, let the left leg go to the floor. Slide those legs away from you, put the palms up under your bum. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Lengthening the toes away from the top of the head, breathing in. On the out breath, push off those elbows and lift onto the top of the head. Lengthening the toes away, lifting that breastbone up, breathing in. Push the body up above those arms, breathing out. Lifting, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Breathing in, filling the lungs up with air and spreading the ribs. Breathing out, resting on those arms, on those elbows. Just bend that right knee, bend that left knee. Push harder with those elbows. Make sure you're sitting on the bum and your lower back is supported by your tummy. And then slide those feet away and lower that back down to the floor. Breathing in, bring that right knee in, bring that left knee in. Hug those knees, lift that tailbone up off the ground, feel the stretch. Bring that nose up to the knees, so you're really bending and rounding that back. Good, and then release. Head onto the floor, tailbone on the floor. Rolling those shoulders into the floor, make those shoulder blades flat, slide them down towards the waist. If you're not sure if they're flat, put the elbows on the floor, let go of the legs to the hands, take those palms away from each other, palms to the sky, and you'll feel the shoulder blades come flat. You might have to shimmy a bit. They come flat, they squeeze together. Bring those hands up to the sky. Release those hands out wide, let the backs of the hands go to the floor. Bring those hands up. Release them, come to the floor. Keep those shoulder blades there. Bring those arms up on those legs. Lengthen the left leg out straight. Keep that right leg here. Keeping those shoulders flat on the floor. Pulling that right knee up. Pulling the right leg away from that left leg, stretching through the groin. Pulling that left knee down to the floor so the leg's straight. Clenching with the bum, pushing into those hip flexors. Bringing that right leg over the body, let the hip lift, let the body turn. Keep those shoulders on the floor. Pushing that breastbone up to the sky. Pushing that tummy button over. Reach that right arm away, keeping that shoulder under control. Reaching that right arm. Eyes looking right, sorry. Pushing that left leg straight. Tighten the knee. Pulling the quad tight. Lengthening. Putting the knee away to the floor. Hip is following. And release that neck. Release that shoulder of the right arm. Release the body, come back to flat on your back. Pull that knee in again. And then let that leg go away. Take those arms all the way over the head. Reach and stretch. Bring those arms up to the sky. Bring that right knee in again. Same leg. Bring that leg all the way over the body. Eyes right. Right hand away. Keeping the right shoulder down. Keeping that right knee to the floor. Hip following the knee. And then roll onto this left-hand side. Roll onto the left. Take hold of this right foot in the right hand. Pull the pubic bone forward. Push that right foot into the right hand. Let the left foot go forward a bit to keep your balance. And then pull that right knee behind you, keeping the pubic bone forward. So just lengthen using your foot by pushing your foot into the hand. You take that knee back, as opposed to trying to pull it with your arm. Push the foot in the hand, that'll lengthen that leg backwards. It'll make that arm go behind you. Stretching, feel the stretch through that hip. Keep that knee hip height, don't let that knee lift up. And then release, come back onto your back. Come back onto your back, pull that knee, same knee, right leg in, turn the right leg. Pull that right foot up towards that left shoulder. Feel the stretch through that right bum. Push the tailbone down to the floor more. That'll stretch through that bum further. Hold that leg here. Hold that leg. Use your elbow against your right thigh and kind of pull the right thigh in towards the elbow. And then release and pull that foot higher, turn that thigh away. Good. Okay, relax. Let go of that foot, keep hold of the knee. And then pull that knee over your body. Push that right hand away, one more stretch. Feel how you can come over further with that leg. Keeping that shoulder on the floor, stretching through that torso. Lengthen that left leg, lock the knee. And then roll back onto the back. Take that leg out straight, take those arms out straight, reach and stretch. Pull those shoulders down towards the ears. Shimmy the body and make sure those shoulder blades are flat. If you want your palms up, that's fine. Bring the hands up to the sky and bring that left leg in. Take hold of it, pull your shoulders into the floor, push the back of the head into the floor, which will help support the shoulders. Pull that knee up, left knee up. So by pulling the back of the head into the floor, we get the neck straight with the rest of the spine. Pushing the back of the head in the floor lifts the spine away between the shoulders and makes the shoulder blades go flat. So pushing the head backwards is part of neutral spine. Push that right leg away, locking the knee, keeping this left leg in hard, stretching through that groin, and then pull that left leg over your body. Take that left knee all the way to the floor. Push that left hand away, turning the eyes left. Breathing in, breathing out. Turning through that body, pushing the hand away. Looking to that left hand, pulling that left knee to the floor. Breathing in, breathing out. Roll back onto the back. Pull that left knee in towards the body. Push that right leg away, keep it straight. And then pull that left leg over the body one more time. Pushing the eyes, turn the eyes left. Pushing that knee down, pushing that shoulder down, turning the eyes, stretching, bringing those ribs up to the sky. Keeping that tummy button pulling away from the floor. And then roll over onto the right hand side. So rolling onto the right, support the head with the underneath arm and take hold of this left leg in the left hand. So keep that knee, don't let it lift up. This leg on mine wants to go to the sky, so I have to keep it there, keep it down, and then I'm going to push that knee. And part of why I want to do that is because the knee's not happy. So I push that foot into the hand and it takes that leg backwards and it stretches through the hip. And I could bring my foot up and hold that knee, but then I lose my balance. So it's a bit of a juggling act, pushing the knee into the hand, stretching through the hip, breathing in, breathing out. So mum, keep your knee down, don't let it lift to the ceiling. Good, Jane, nice. Good, Sandra, nice. Actually, Sandra, keep your knee down a bit as well. It might be the camera angle, pushing the foot into the hand, stretching it back. Feel that stretch. Lengthening. And then release. So that leg with me, the knee takes over, so I could actually stretch, stay in that stretch a bit longer, and then I would get it into the hip flexor. Roll onto your back, pull that left leg in towards the body again. Pull that left leg over the body again. Push that left hand away, pushing that left knee to the floor. Keep the left shoulder away from the left ear. Turning that my left ear into the floor, trying to get my left nose on the floor. And then roll back onto the back. And then pull that left knee in again. And then take that left foot. Pull that left foot up, push that left knee away. So as I pull that left shin up or left foot up, I can feel the stretch through that glute. Push that left butt cheek or the tailbone down towards the floor, and you feel the stretch through the glute. You can bring the other leg up. I'm just showing you a different way to do it today. So I'm pushing with my hand on that thigh, holding it there. Now push the thigh into the hand. And then release and stretch. It does require a bit of arm strength doing it this way, so it might be a bit hard. I can see James finding it hard to reach that foot. Okay, release that leg. Keep hold of that that left leg. Keep it pulled up into the chest. And then bring that left leg all the way over the body one more time. You should have more movement through the body. Less tension in the glutes, so then the back lifts, so then we can turn and rotate. And then roll back onto the back. Take that leg out straight. Bring those arms up to the sky, bring them all the way over the head, keep the shoulders down, shoulders away from the ears. And then lying, just recalibrate the body into its neutral. So we've got the ribs on the floor. So maybe let's take the arms up to the sky, bring them back down by our side. So we've got the upper ribs, middle ribs, bottom ribs are on the ground. Flatten that lower back into the floor. Feel the stretch in those quads as we flatten into the floor. Now tilt the pelvis and arch that lower back, but try not to lift those ribs up. So we arch from the lower back, flatten that lower back, the pelvis, we feel the stretch in those hip flexors. Now arch the lower back by pushing the pubic bone down, keeping those ribs all on the floor. Find that neutral position for that neutral spine. Now in that position, keeping those shoulders away from the ears, we'll do a few abs here. So we're going to pull that right leg up into the body. Put it along the floor and then lift the right knee up. So it's over our tummy, over our hip. And then we're going to lower that right foot back down to the floor and lengthen it all the way out straight. Bring that right knee in, bring that right knee up, hold on to the knee, pull it in, so we stretch through that groin. So this is a bit more like walking, lifting that knee up while the other leg's straight. Take that right knee over, touch the foot on the floor, slide it away. I still have to use a lot of tummy muscles to do this. Breathing in, pull that knee back in, lift that knee back up. So making sure your spine's not moving, the only thing moving is that leg. Take that foot over to the floor, slide that foot away. Good, so I've got the other leg flat on the ground, which is unusual. Normally you don't do it like this, but this is a bit more like walking. Bring that right knee back in, slide it back in, lift it back up. You can hold on to the back of the thigh and encourage it higher if you want. Release that right leg, put the foot on the floor, slide it away. Keep that pelvis in neutral. Leave that leg here this time. Even yourself up. Make sure that you've got your spine straight. Now the left leg, drawing in the core. So when we draw in the core, we are squeezing the pipes inside. We're squeezing where the baby comes out. We're squeezing where we have a poo. We're squeezing where we have a wee. All those pipes are engaged. Now we lift that knee, pull that heel towards the bum, keeping that neutral spine. So it's the period pain muscles. Slide that leg out. And breathing in, bring that leg back up. Drawing in through that lower abdominal area, sliding that leg out. And then bringing that leg back up. Good, sliding that leg out. And bringing that leg back up. Leave that leg bent. And now bring that other leg up as well, leaving that leg bent too. So now we'll give the abs a bit of a break and we'll do some bridging. So feet are flat on the floor. Heel is on the ground, breathing in. On the out breath, ball of the foot off the floor. Flatten that lower back. Lift that tailbone up, so clench that bum. Just go to there. And then release, round that tailbone down, arch that lower back, breathing in. On the out breath, flatten that lower back into the floor, lift the tailbone up, push through the heels, drive that pubic bone all the way up into the sky. So the idea here is we're inverting the hip. We're pushing that hip up, clenching with the bum. Lower that body down one vertebra at a time. Easing all the way back down, lower, 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 arch the back at the bottom, breathing in. On the out breath, we're going to flatten that back into the floor, push the pubic bone up. Now stop here, push through the heels, feel that bum really clenched. Now push, clenching that bum further, pushing the pubic bone high and inverting at the hip. So we're bending, pushing that extreme. So using the bum, not the lower back. So draw the tummy in and pull the lower back to the floor and push the pubic bone to the sky. And then lower one at a time down to the ground before your hamstrings take over. Arch the back at the bottom. So we're flattening that tailbone into the floor and then breathing in on the out breath, flatten that lower back, push it in the ground. Make sure those shoulders are back and down. Turn your palms up, push that tailbone down, tailbone up. Pubic bone driving to the sky, pushing through the heels, keep those shoulders relaxed, pushing through the heels and inverting here. So same thing, we're trying to get this leg bone, the top of the leg is lifting that pelvis up into the sky, clenching and lifting. So we've got the palms up, loosen that head and neck, breathing in. On the out breath, lower that body one vertebra at a time all the way down to the ground. All the way down, arching the back at the bottom, breathing in. On the out breath, flatten the back into the floor, push through those heels, drive that pubic bone up into the sky, lifting and holding yourself tall. Raise your hands and put them under your bum. Feel your buttocks. Are they both firm? Is one firmer than the other? Rest those hands, backs of the hands back on the floor, and then push that right heel into the ground. And release. Push that left heel into the ground and release. So pushing that right heel in. So we're pushing the heel in, which is pushing the pubic bone higher on that side, making that left leg softer on the ground. Release that release the extra push on the right side. And now push on that left side. Push that heel in. It releases the pressure on the right foot, pushing that pubic bone higher. Now even the weight on both heels and then lower that spine all the way down to the floor. All the way down to the ground. Breathing in, arch the back at the bottom. Breathing out, flatten the back. Bring the right knee in. Bring the left knee in, hug the knees to the chest, lift that tailbone up and really flex that lower back. And then release. And then hug the knees in again. And then release. Put the head back on the floor. Take those arms out to 90 degrees, palms up. Pull those shoulders into the floor. Shimmy the shoulders so that they're flat. Lift the feet away from the bum a little bit so your knees are 90 degrees. Drop those legs over to the right. Turn the eyes left. Breathing in. On the out breath, lift those legs up, pushing off that right arm. Bring those legs all the way over to the left side. Turn the eyes right. Keep those shoulders away from the ears. Breathing in. On the out breath, push off that left arm. Bring those legs all the way up, over to the right again. So we just loosen that lower back. And then lift those legs all the way up. And you can keep the feet on the floor if you want, or you can have the feet off. And then come back into that middle position. Good, so we've engaged those glutes, rolling those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Extend those legs out straight. Lift those hands straight up into the sky, breathing in. Pull those shoulders into the mat, breathing out. Flatten that lower back, chin into the chest. Lift yourself all the way up to sitting. Hands on those legs. Make sure your feet are on the mat. Hands are on those legs. Give those knees a rub. Rolling those shoulders up to the ears, down and back. Rolling those shoulders up to the ears. Pop those hands on the floor behind. Pop those hands on the floor. So breathing in. Straighten those elbows. Lift that chest up high. Bring those eyes forward. Bring those hands towards each other, lifting up strong, point those toes. Flex those feet, lift that chest up higher. Put your legs straight, mum. Knees down, good, point the toes. Flex the feet, so having a bit of a stretch, we're flossing those nerves. Point the toes. Flex those feet. Okay, bend that right leg a bit. Bend that left leg a bit, so you've got your knees bent. So rolling those shoulders. I'm going to put my palms of my hands down so that my hands aren't going to slip. Pull those shoulders together, pull the upper arms together. Pushing through the heels, clench with the bum and lift those hips up. Good, getting to the top and then lowering back down again. So we're using a bit of arm strength and it's glutes. So we've got to invert. So it's the same as the bridge. It's a reverse bridge. You've got to invert that pelvis area. So breathing in. Lift that chest up, breathing out. Push through the heels. Clench with the bum and push the glutes up so that ideally your hips are level with your chin, level with your knees. Good. And then lower back down. Excellent. Good, breathing in. Pull those shoulders back. So mum, pull the shoulders back. So if you're feeling it in your shoulders, it is quite hard on your shoulders, this one, but we want to get the shoulders back and down. So I've got a dark jumper on, sorry, but my head of my shoulder is here behind my centre line. So Jane, that's good. Pull those shoulders down, get the upper arm, get your humerus behind your ribs. Lift that chest up, so we lift the chest up, push those ribs forwards, breathing in, good mum. Got to keep that chest in that orientation to the arms. Breathing out, push those heels in the floor, pivot on that shoulder and lift those hips up. So don't let those shoulders come forward towards your chin, good, and then lower down to the ground. Your shoulders stay behind your ears all the time, right? One more of them, breathing in. Breathing out. Push, so mum, take your hands further apart on the floor. Breathing in, breathing out, lift that head, that clench with that bum and lift. Good. And then lower all the way down to the ground. Put those legs out straight. Bring those hands off the floor and then roll yourself all the way forward. So it's shoulder strength, but it's stabilizing the shoulders by pulling the shoulder blades back behind your body, not letting yourself hang off those ligaments. So you will have degeneration in the end of the upper arm, the humerus ball. We've all got that. I've got it. So I'm sure you guys have it. But it's keeping that shoulder blade back so that you, as you lift, you're pivoting and you're keeping it back. I don't think you can really see from my jumper. Okay, let's roll over. We're going to come onto all fours and we're going to come onto our tummy, but we're not going to do planks, so don't stress. So balls of the tops of your feet on the ground. Hands are under the shoulders, so roll those elbows forward, stretching the head away from the tailbone. So pushing, so this way, we've got to drop the chest down towards the floor so that our shoulders come behind us still. Pull those shoulders away from our ears so we lengthen that head and neck. Holding ourselves nice and long. We're going to take the, putting the knees away from each other on the mat here. We're going to take that right leg out straight so the toe goes to the floor. Yeah, so it's just touch, it just can touch or be above the floor. Bring that right knee in towards the elbow. Take that right leg out straight so it's just above the floor. Bring that right knee in. Take that right leg out straight. So we're using the glutes. This is a glute and bum exercise. Bring that knee in. Take that right leg out straight. So the toes are just off the floor. Now lift that right leg up to the sky. So clenching with the bum. Ease with the bum, lower the toe to the ground. Clench with the bum, lift that leg up. Ease with the bum and lower. So make sure your thighs, your knees straight. So clench that quad, clench the thigh muscles, and then lift the back of the thigh up to the sky, and then down. So the bend comes in the bottom, the underneath of your buttock. Lift and lower. Clench and lift. So mum, you're meant to be moving, legs stay straight and down. So the leg is straight, so you clench and you lift from the thigh. What I don't want you doing is just moving your foot. So your thigh comes up to horizontal with your spine. Your thigh comes down to pointing to your foot. Can you straighten your leg, mum? Lock the knee. Don't bend the knee. Lift that leg up. Yes. Hold it straight here. Now we're going to lift it higher for the count of 3, 2, 1. And then bring that knee down next to the other one. So give that leg give the other leg a break for a second. So this time going to rest on the right leg. Take the left leg out straight behind. Bring that left knee into the elbow. Take that left leg out straight behind. Sandra, chest towards the front of the mat. Bring that knee towards the elbow. Take that left leg behind. Good. Bring that knee to the elbow. So also, Sarah, keep your chest forward. Take that leg behind and keep the back of your head up. Don't let your head drop down. So look at your fingertips. Hold your leg here. Lift that leg up to the sky and down. Leg straight. So lift the thigh up and down. So mum, you've got to clench harder with your bum and lift your thigh higher. Really clench and ease. Clench and ease. So you're pushing the pubic bone to the floor, lifting the thigh up, lifting the back of the knee up. Lift and lower. Clench and lift, hold it there. Lengthen the head away from that foot, and we're going to lift that leg up higher. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back down next to the other leg. Okay, so resting on those hands, turn the inside of the elbows forward, the knees are bent. Resting on that left leg, take the right leg out to the side with the knee bent and bring it in. If your wrists are sore, go on your knuckles. Take it out to the side, bring that knee in. Out to the side, bring it in. Out to the side, hold it there, hold it in the air, pulsing it up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it down. Other leg, keep those shoulders away from the ears. Take that knee out to the side and down. Out to the side and down. Out to the side and down. 2 more and down. 1 more and down. Hold it up in the sky, pulsing it up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then bring it down next to the other leg. Okay, take your knees apart a bit on the mat and just go back into child pose. Stretch those hands forward, stretching through those arms. Breathing in, breathing out, reaching that chest down to the floor. Pulling those knees apart from each other, lift back up onto all fours. Bring those knees back in so they're hip distance apart. Breathing in, and on the out breath, we're going to slide those hands forward, keep the bum above the hips, hips above the knees, bum above the knees. Slide those hands forward, keeping those those thighs vertical. Rest the forehead on the ground, rest the chin on the ground, trying to get that chest down onto the floor. Breathing in, on the out breath, push with those hands, stretching through those armpits. Pushing those forearms into the floor, pulling those shoulder blades back and down. Release the push of the arms and just let them lengthen and slide away a bit further. Breathing in, breathing out. And then walking those arms back. Slowly walk them back. Your shoulders are a bit iffy. Walk them back 1 hand at a time and come up onto all fours. Turn that tailbone down, push that back up, bring the eyes to the knees, so nice big arch. And then turn that tailbone up, bring the belly down, bring the eyes to the sky. And then come into neutral. And then walk your hands forward, just bring yourself round into sitting again. Bring yourself round into sitting, so feet are vertical, pull those toes towards you. Roll those shoulders up to the ears, round and back. Put the hands on the floor behind. Breathing in. Breathing out. Push the chest forward. Push the hands into the floor. Pull those upper arms behind you. So get that humerus behind you, Jane. Yeah, good, Sarah. Nice. Really stretching. Breathing in. Breathing out. Release the hands off the floor. Pop them on your thighs. Roll that body forward towards those feet. Stretching. Reaching those arms forward, stretching through those shoulder joints. And then slide those hands back, bring yourself back up to vertical. So you're snaking your body from bent to curve. Now we're just straight. Bring those arms all the way up into the sky. Bring them up in the sky, breathing in. On the out breath, push those arms up higher. Bring those arms all the way out wide. Dust the floor, bring them all the way up into the sky again. Breathing in. On the out breath, push those hands up higher. Release them out wide. Rest them on your legs. And roll your shoulders. Well done.